Happy Muk-jji-bba Day!
Happy Muk-jji-bba Day!
Happy Muk-jji-bba Day!
Welcome back to another episode of Season 3! Yay! I'm Edgy.
I'm Brittany.
I'm Judy.
So our last episode, we did a TLDR of our past 6 months and how sad we were without you guys. So
Guess we're continuing with this.
Sorry. I'm just really trying to milk this as long as I can. Yes, for sure. It'll end here. Okay. So we wanted to dive a little bit deeper into, I guess, a core experience we've all had the past 6 months, albeit at different times, but I feel like it was very meaningful for all of us. So we all went to Korea for 2 weeks at different parts of the year.
Yes.
And we wanted to dive a little bit deeper because a lot of stories to tell here.
Yes.
A lot of feelings, a lot of experiences.
Yeah. When did you guys go?
I just came back.
Yeah.
I went October.
Right.
I went the last 2 weeks of September.
I think I was there end of July to a little bit of the beginning of August. Like very, beginning. Yeah.
I thought it was very cool how we unintentionally, tag teamed almost going to Korea.
It's like a relay.
Yeah, it was. It actually was.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people are wanting to travel to Korea nowadays. And I don't know if that's because the Korean culture is like more, I don't know, just more well known and more, I feel
Very
like
glamorized.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah. And like it's both like good and bad.
Yeah.
For sure. But glamorized I think is a good way to put it. For sure.
I guess like all three of us, we spent a lot of time with family because we
Yeah.
have extended family living there.
Right.
So maybe we can talk about that first.
Well, I stayed with my grandparents. We usually do.
Is this Seoul?
Yes. It's not like the most well-known city because a lot of elderly people live there. But we are next to a pretty big park that's pretty well-known in Korea. And we're not too far from everything. Like, I think Hongdae is like 40 minutes by subway and bus. Yeah, but family, I feel like I learn something new about family every time I go to Korea and every time I stay with them, it's just a different experience. But I think this past year definitely felt different than previous years that I've gone to Korea. And so my grandma was getting knee surgery. And so for us, like initially we were going to Korea just to visit family, to have fun. But then it kind of turned into a trip where it was like my mom had to care for my grandparents. And then my sister and I would kind of assist her in doing that. And so I think at first, honestly, I was like, oh man, like I just wanted this time to be just like a stress-free
Vacation.
Yeah, I was like, I was traveling so much before, and then I kind of felt, I don't know, I was like, oh, dang it. Like, I wish we didn't have to worry about anything. But I feel like that was like such a selfish thought. And I think I quickly realized that it's also a privilege being able to take care of your grandparents, especially when they're around, because I know like their health is definitely not the same. So I think I like was humbled very quickly. But when we got there, it was, it's so humid, so hot. That's like the first thing you feel. But yeah, my grandma was mostly in the hospital. So that was interesting. But we were with my grandpa a lot. And that was really nice. He asked me to change the his computer, like, what do you call that? The size? The
Dimension?
zoom? Yes, the dimensions of his like computer screen. And then I changed it, like I made it too big. So then I got home. He's like, oh, it's too big. Like, I can't see anything. So then I made it a little bit smaller, and then he was like, oh, it's too big. Because you have to restart the computer every time you make that change with Microsoft. And so I was like fixing that. We fixed his like cursor size too.
Oh,
so
yes.
it's bigger. Yeah, so I was glad I could help him with that at least. And then, yeah, we got to see my mom's side a lot as well. Because my mom has a lot of sisters. So that's always a lot of fun. We got to go to Jeju-do for a little bit with my aunts. Yeah, my mom didn't get to go. But, yeah, we don't want to, like, cancel the tickets because that's money too. So we went without her. But it was really fun. And yeah, I think weather was definitely a lot better in Jeju-do than Seoul for sure. It's just cooler. There's a breeze. So that was really nice. But yeah, maybe we can get into like what we learned about family a little later. But that's like a general gist of what I did with my family, I guess. What about you guys?
I went by myself, and so that in itself I feel like was a really unique experience. Not that I'm scared to travel by myself, but I think the last time I went to Korea, I just graduated high school, and it was my whole family, including my brother, my parents. And so my parents obviously haven't lived in Korea for a while, but they kind of knew how to get around. And even then it was like my dad would navigate us to the airport and things like that. But now I'm all by myself and figuring out how to get, which way to go within the airport. And then once I got to Korea, I stayed with my aunt, my oldest aunt on my dad's side. And she lives in Seoul, but in kind of the far north side of Seoul. So it's a little bit away from everything. But I kind of liked that because it felt like a suburb. But what is it? I basically took the airport limousine bus to her place. So I was just waiting around at the airport for a little bit, but it didn't feel real. Like, I think it took a while for everything to hit. And even when it did, I think when I was in high school, it was like, oh my gosh, like I can't wait. I don't know if you guys felt the same way, but I think because I was just so overwhelmed with work, and it's very different. It's more of just like, oh, I'm going. And it didn't even hit me that I would be going to another country even when I was on the plane. It was more just like, I need to knock out as soon as possible. That was just kind of the mindset I had when I got on the plane. And thankfully I did. But yeah, and so I was just on the bus and I was just looking out. And I think when I was there in high school, everything felt so like different. But for this time around, it was just kind of like, here I am. It was very anticlimactic in a sense. I don't know if it's just a natural effect of getting older, but and then my aunt and my cousin came out to meet me at the bus station, and then they picked me up from there. And then my grandma, she lives in the countryside, but she had come up so that we could spend a couple of days in the city together and then go back down together to spend a few days where she lives, just the two of us. But yeah, greeted me with a huge feast, and then just like spent my days there. And then even before I had left, my parents and I basically mapped out a schedule for myself because I cannot operate without a schedule. And so
you can't.
I cannot. Why'd you say it like that?
Super J.
Hey, that's okay.
Yeah, so I kind of had to know what I was going to do each day just for myself, because I feel like I can make it the fullest if I plan it out. So I had stuff every day, and then for a good chunk of the time, maybe like 4 or 5 days, I was in the countryside with my grandma. And then I have another aunt who lives about an hour away from where my grandma lives. So then we spent a couple days there. That's where I got like my perm, and that is a whole fiasco too. But anyway, that happened. And then my last full week, I went back up to Seoul, and that's when I did my solo traveling or solo traveling. So I just went around different areas that I wanted to go to. And then I also actually spent a lot of time with my mom's side of the family, so like my aunts and my cousins. We spent like a full day together in Seongsu-dong, so that was super fun. It was super fun. I honestly thought we were just gonna like eat lunch and then like separate, and I would just do solo travel. But then my aunt was like, 2차, 3차, 4차, like she has to go all the chas. And then I was like, yes. And then so that was super, super fun. And just hanging out with my cousin, my girl cousins too, because we're all around the same age. So that was really fun. And my last full day, my aunt, my younger aunt, and my cousin, they also spent the full day with me. We went to like the Namsan Tower and then like shopping. We literally talked for hours. It was super fun. And also because her and my mom used to like share a room together when they were growing up, so she would tell me all these stories, and I was like,
so cute.
I would literally never have known these stories. So that was super fun. And then I came back, and even then I was like, back to reality. I think that was the hardest part, coming back. So that was my trip. It was very, very, very meaningful. I think not going with my parents, it was without a buffer in a sense of my extended family, and so spending that much time with extended family for the first time was definitely a new experience. And also going as like a quote-unquote adult, when the last time I went I was still a kid. So but in their eyes I am still a kid,
Right.
Oh, of
so
course.
that was also very interesting.
It's interesting because my experience was almost the opposite, because after graduating high school, I also went to Korea. It's like a rite of passage, I feel like. But I went by myself that time. So what you kind of experienced, I experienced it then. So this time I went with my parents, and they haven't been to Korea since I was in 8th grade. So it's been a very, very long time. And so I think the biggest takeaway was just seeing my parents be someone's like child, be someone's brother,
That's
older
crazy.
brother or younger brother, things like that. And seeing that in action as an adult was so like weird and also very like touching.
For sure.
So that was like a very memorable feeling that I experienced. And then I think it was funny because my parents haven't traveled anywhere since that time. I kind of led the way and like directing them to it's like, oh, we have to go here in the airport. We have to like, oh, take off your jacket, things like that. Because lots have changed, I feel like. So that was kind of funny. But the flight there, I feel like I just slept most of the time. The food was so delicious for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did you eat?
Gosh, I don't even remember.
She just knows it was so good. That's good.
It was just so, because I expected the worst.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, I can eat this.
It's gotten a lot better. Yeah.
Flight back though was a little disappointing. It was different. But anyways, and then during my 2 weeks, it was a lot of traveling. I feel like a lot of time was wasted because of all that travel time, because people live in different places around Korea. And my dad had like his health checkup there because it's cheaper in Korea.
Yeah.
And because
sorry.
you know how they're like on strike, like a lot of
The
it's
doctors,
hard to get like an appointment. So the only date that worked was a very inconvenient time. We have to like plan around it almost, and then we have to go back to like get the results, things like that. So that kind of messed up a lot of things. But I mean, it had to be done. So just a lot of traveling. I did go to Seoul for a couple of days, but most of the time I was in the countryside, like actual countryside, which that is also kind of sad because apparently they're going to build a dam and like it affects my grandma's house. It's not confirmed yet, but I mean, most likely within the next like 5 years, she'll have to move out. But I honestly envision myself retiring there.
Wow.
So that like future in my head was crushed. I was like, oh man. But like how much, if I feel this way, my grandma must feel like that times 100. So that was like kind of sad to see. But yeah, I went to like a 온천, like it's called 백두산 in Gajo, and it's like apparently kind of well known. It's kind of big.
Interesting.
I got the exfoliating, full body exfoliation.
Dude,
That's crazy.
Yes.
did you feel like a new person?
Oh, I felt like a baby.
I wanted to do that, but I couldn't because it was like the first week I got my period, and then the second week I got my chom removed, and you can't go to like a tang with that.
You
So
can't.
yeah, you can't. Because it's not supposed to be damp that area.
Yeah. So you had a sticker on it the whole time, huh?
How do you wash your face?
I had the sticker on. I would just like kind of go around.
Yeah,
it.
but I think when you're around moisture a lot, it just gets in the process of it actually like making the takji. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, and it needs to fall off in a timely manner, and like so it's like in order for it not to scar. Yeah. For sure. Dang.
But yeah, that was, I went twice. I didn't get it exfoliated the second time, but oh, here's another thing. The water in the countryside is just so good.
I bet.
Like even washing my face, I want to keep washing my face. It's like, oh, it feels so good. Just so smooth and And coming to LA, even Seoul, I was like, this water is so disappointing. What's wrong with the water? But yeah, there was that. And I also spent a lot of time with my cousin, who's our age. He has a younger brother as well, but he's in college, so I didn't get to spend too much time with him. College, like, in a different city, whereas this cousin is also still in college, but it's, like, in Daegu. So he actually, like, drove down to where my grandma's house is, which is, like, an hour-and-a-half drive from Daegu, like, back and forth so many times to spend time with me. Because he was like, oh, like, what do you do there? And I was like, nothing. There's not much to do in the countryside. I just like take walks, you know. And he was like, I think he felt really bad. He was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, oh, are you free today? I'll come pick you up.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, very, very sweet. It's funny because I didn't really like him like a long time ago, like growing up.
That makes sense.
It's like he's very mututukhet. He still is, but like this time he changed for the better. Yeah,
better.
But apparently he also didn't really like me because I don't remember this, but like I would correct his English. like apparently he said like, oh, we need to ride the taxi, like taxi. And I was like, no, taxi.
Dang.
Yeah, so he was traumatized.
That's very
I
valid.
apologize, but yeah, it was fun spending time with him. It was weird because like I've never talked to him extensively. But the drive itself is so long, so I have to like talk in Korean. So yeah. And then talking to him was easy, but his younger brother is, I think, 3 years younger than us. I don't understand a lot of the words because it's a lot of slang, like younger Gen Z, like language.
Yeah, it's like
They abbreviate everything, and I'm like, we're at a Muk-jji-bba, and he like said something. He's kind of shy, so it took a lot of courage for him to say something to me, and I was like, huh? Oh no! Sorry, what? Yeah.
Wait, what was?
I don't even remember. Yeah, but yeah, that was kind of funny. Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah. Oh, and the countryside air, something's in the air. I was sleepy all the time. It's a combination of that plus food coma because my grandma keeps feeding me so much food. So my dad and I were just sleeping so much.
That's good though.
And my dad, he decided to quit smoking, so I think
wow.
Yeah, and he decided that the moment we landed in Korea. So I think one of the you know, like once you quit, you have like these symptoms, and sleepiness is a huge, like drowsiness. Yeah, so he's still kind of struggling with that, but
does he eat a lot more too?
He no.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people tend to gain weight after they quit smoking because they are constantly looking for something
a
to
substitution.
munch on.
I think he's the opposite, which is not good. He kind of like lost appetite.
Oh no.
But I think it's like a cycle. But anyways,
Yeah.
that's great news.
Yeah, it is great news.
Very
Good for him.
I think because my grandma like scolded him so like intensely.
Yeah.
It's like a wake up call.
Yeah, for sure.
But
That's
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Much needed.
yeah.
It seems like cousins were kind of like
Yeah.
a very positive of our trips.
Yeah.
Because I like spent a lot of time with my cousins too, thankfully. One of my cousins, she's a reporter, so she like never has time, but she got to go to Jeju-do with us. And then my older cousins are always really good to us. So I feel like, and we're closer to them because one of them used to live in the US for a little bit. Yeah, so he would come over to our house really, really often. So with him, I feel a lot closer. So it's like fun to talk to him. Yeah, he's always like, "Oh, I miss Chipotle. Like I miss Chipotle."
Chipotle.
I feel like Koreans don't like Chipotle.
No, but he does.
Oh,
Yeah, he's always
interesting.
like, "Oh, I miss Chipotle."
I feel like there's so many better things to eat over there.
Yeah,
True.
but it's not Chipotle. Apparently,
That's true.
So.
It's not Chipotle.
Can't
Yeah.
find Chipotle in Korea.
That's very true.
No, you can find like tacos, but even then, it's not like authentic. So it's not good.
Right.
Yeah, but he was like something about Chipotle. I just like crave it once in a while. And I was like, oh, interesting. But yeah, my oldest cousin has daughters now, so I technically have nieces, which is like so weird.
Yeah.
But I got to spend more time with them this trip. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They're very cute. They're so cute. Like they like grab my aunt's makeup basket. They're like drawing on their faces. But it was so fun. So the first child's like detailed, super detailed. So she like stays in the line.
Oh, wow.
Like her lips are like
How old
you know.
is she?
She's now 5?
That's
4,
really
5?
impressive.
Yeah. Youngest, she's like crazy. She's like drawing like she has like 4 eyebrows at the end of everything. Like the lipstick is like everywhere.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's like their personalities really show. And they're so different, but they're so much fun. But it's like crazy to see that my cousin is a dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
So it's like it's just weird as you age and you see these changes. It's like weird.
I met my niece for the first time
No.
too because she's 37 months.
I was like, wait a second. 37 months. Just say like what is she like?
You're like those moms that like
How old is your baby? 576 months old. Like
It's because like cousin's wife said it like that. So that's
Oh, like
why.
34개월.
37개월.
아, 7개월.
Because like other cousin was like, oh, 로아 몇 살이에요? And then she's like 37. So now she's what? 38 months now. Because that was a month ago.
she still didn't.
3 years old. She's
Yes,
3 years
yes.
old, guys.
3 years
Do
and
the
1
math.
month.
Do the math.
2 months.
Yeah, 2
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
But yeah, so obviously I'm not close to my cousins, but I think just like seeing him as a dad was also weird, and also because did my dad go to his wedding? I don't know, maybe not. I don't even remember. But he was the first of my cousins to get married, and on my dad's side, my dad is the youngest, so my cousins are all several years older than me. So to see him as a dad and like so she's his daughter, but he'll just like throw her around like, and I was like, oh my gosh. And she talks so well. It's frightening how well she talks.
Have you seen the baby Teha
Yes.
on
Oh
YouTube?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
너무 잘해요. Like,
Yeah.
is it kind of similar to him?
I've never watched
Okay,
it,
okay,
but
okay.
if you see her and talk to her,
Yeah.
she talks so well. It's kind of scary. I'm like, why are you so good at talking?
Yeah.
But then she also talks nonstop.
Oh.
At one point, we were like, and then my cousins are like, oh no, we were just like, oh. And it's funny because even my cousin was like, 시끄러. But he like 그냥 막 말해. Not like a comment, but he's like, 야, 엄마, like, 그냥 가서 놀아. Like he just kind of doesn't baby talk in the slightest bit. It's actually
Babies like that learn really quickly.
Yeah, it's actually hilarious. There's no sense of baby talk
Interesting.
whatsoever with him. Her mom though, kind of, she's also like an art therapist. So she's very like, nah, you know, like with a very bright voice. But he's like, Yamma, like, 왜 그래? I was like, oh.
Two different types of parenting.
Yeah, very different. But my cousins are like, talk to her in English, and then so she'll stop talking, and then so I would actually talk in English and she'll inch away from me. It was actually really funny, and so yeah, that was kind of our strategy that day to keep the volume down.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm like known as like the 미국 고모. Like
Yeah,
my sister
yeah,
and I.
yeah.
미국 고모, 우리 미국, and then
Yeah.
she's always like 미국으로 갈까? And they're like, no.
Same. Because she gets tutoring for English. She's 3 years old. And then so my cousin's wife was like, hear the authentic pronunciation. And so I would like talk, and she was not interested in the slightest bit. I wouldn't be either.
Yeah, 어린이집 and tutoring,
Yeah.
they go at such a young age in Korea.
It's crazy.
It's kind of sad, but
sad,
it's
yeah.
also the nature of like both parents just having to work.
Yeah.
It's really sad. Yeah. Dang. No kids around you?
No kids. It's because I think I have a good handful of like nieces and nephews, but they're old. Like because my mom's an only child, so nothing in that family.
Yeah.
But my dad's side, he has 6 siblings. He is so he's number 6 out of 7.
Oh.
So he's like almost 막내.
Yeah.
So everyone else is like old. Like
Oh yeah, for sure.
their grandparents. So like I just haven't met them. Yeah, obviously they're not like close because there's such a huge age gap.
Yeah,
So my dad's only close to like his older brother, whose kids are the cousins I hung out with,
Okay.
and then his younger sister, and then he's close to another older sister who lives in Seoul, who we did meet up with. She's like a fashion designer, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, but everyone else I have not met, so I don't know. Yeah.
It's like so interesting because mine's the opposite. My dad doesn't have a lot of, so he has one younger brother, but my uncle's not married, so we don't have like a lot of family on that side. But my mom's side of the family is huge. Huge. Like if I were single, like my sister and I always joke around, like if we were single and someone was setting us up on a date, we would have to check the family tree. We're just, our family's huge.
Really?
Yeah, so I think when I went last year or 2 years ago, we were meeting family we've never met before. Dang. Left and right. Oh, she's related to you, like by blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I'm not even going to keep track of that. Just like, I'll just know that I'm related to you.
Yeah.
It's like, it's crazy. Yeah. So, yeah. It's like opposite, 완전 opposite. Yeah.
What was the yummiest food you
Oh.
ate in Korea?
Oh, I ate so much in Korea.
I can go first.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So for dessert,
Oh, yes.
it's unexpected. It's the mango flavored Muk-jji-bba.
Oh.
Have you tried it? Muk-jji-bba? Like, but it's mango flavored.
Like,
No, I don't know. Maybe I have. But
I don't
was
know if they sell it here,
Uh-huh.
but I just bought it on a whim,
Yeah.
and it was so good.
mango.
I was expecting from an establishment, not
No.
like a store, grocery
No.
store.
From a grocery store.
Mm.
And then food-wise, I think lots of great food.
Yeah.
Makchang.
Mm.
Yeah. It was like the flat kind,
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
round
yeah.
kind.
Yeah. Where'd you have makchang?
Daegu. They're known for makchang. Yeah.
That's different.
But who I ate it with was kind of funny. It was with my cousin, and he works at a math hagwon. And he's close to the math hagwon's 원장님, so like principal,
Yeah.
and the other 강사 and
Instructor.
instructor. So the 4 of us yes, went to a makgeang place.
That's so random.
I know, it's
So
super
random.
Yeah.
Because I visited, or like I followed him along like the day and had to like go to his hagwon because he had to work. So yeah, it was really random, but very great. It's funny because before we had dinner, so the Kangsa and my cousin had soccer with some of the students just for fun. And that ended at like 10 p.m. But before that, there was a gap between like 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. So I went to a cafe with the principal.
Oh,
just the two of us. And yeah, she's actually a new subscriber. So that's from the last episode. Yeah. So I think she follows us on Instagram. But yeah, we had a great conversation. Yeah, very deep conversation actually.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, very, very deep. She got really personal and I like kind of listened. So that was great. And then after we ate makgeang. So delicious. Yeah.
It's like a heshik, but
yeah. They called it a hweshik, but I was just intruding on their
No,
hweshik.
you are a special guest.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's funny because my cousin had no idea they were dating. So the principal and Kangsa have been dating for 9 years. So like she just like brought on her boyfriend when she set up the hagwon.
And your cousin didn't know?
And my cousin had no idea.
So you found out at the same time that he did?
No, before, technically, because she told me at the
Oh, my
cafe.
Lord.
And then after the hweshik ended, and he was driving me back home, I was like, did you know they're dating? And he was like, what?
No, you told him?
No, because she was like, oh, I don't mind telling him. He just never asked.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet he's just like 공과 사, personal life, work
I think
life.
so.
Yeah.
And he truly doesn't care.
I respect that. I respect that.
And he's like, oh, good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that means like they're able to separate personal and like work life too. The couple.
I guess so. Yeah. So
Yes,
respect.
that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Makgeang.
it was so good.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I ate so much. Do you have something?
족발 that I had at Seongsu-dong, it was so good. And you know it's good when my aunts and cousins, even they said that was the best 족발 they ate. And so that's,
In their life?
Yeah, like in their life. And there's a ton of 족발 places in Korea.
Yeah.
But even them, because also that place is known to... Everywhere in Korea you have to wait if it's a hot place, but this one is also a place that you have to wait a lot if you go at a certain time. So my aunt got there an hour before they opened so she could write her name on the waiting list. And so we were number one. And as soon as the doors opened, the waiting list was already full. So we were the first to enter, but the restaurant was already packed.
Oh.
It was noon when they opened. And outside, it was already packed with people waiting. So we got there, thankfully, because of my aunt, at a good time.
Yeah.
Everyone else, I also got there maybe like 15 minutes after she did. But anyway, it was so good. It was so tingle, like chewy and sweet, but in not an overly off-putting way. But it marinated very well with the chewiness of the collagen and the meatiness, and it was just so good. It was really, really good. And then dessert, I think I was a little disappointed at the dessert because I think I had really high expectations of, cafes, food, social media blows everything up.
Yes,
But honestly, 다 거기서 거기. Everything is just kind of similar. So what I've come to conclusion is wherever you don't have to wait or wherever you can find a seat is the best place, is the yummy place. But I've been wanting to try the Tusum Place icebox cake for years. Last time I went to Korea too, that was on my list, but I wasn't able to get it because that was when I was like only exclusively with family. So it was kind of just at the whim of their schedule. But this one I was like, even if no matter what, I will consume this before I leave. And it was really good, but definitely could not eat the whole thing. Yeah, it's just too much to eat the whole thing. So that, and then I also tried, there's this kind of like banana pudding, but I guess like bread pudding-ish place called Kokoro Kara in Korea. And I've been wanting to try this place for years too because I saw it on Instagram a while back. And they have a shop at the Hyundai in Yeouido And so I went there.
What?
Yeah. So 더 현대 여의도, you know, all the 백화점s have huge food.
Yeah.
So it has a stall there. And so I had it and it was really, really good. I had the matcha Oreo one and it was so good. It was so delish. It's basically like muk-jji, like the Korean with matcha pudding mixed in, and also there's chocolate chips. So it's all the textures and the sweetness and the depth of the matcha with the sweetness of the Oreo bits. It was so delicious. And then I brought some home, and my cousin also devoured it. So it's good. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds really
It
good.
was super good.
Well, I go to Daehyundae so often.
Oh,
in
really?
Korea, because it's pretty close by.
Is that the one where they filmed?
Queen of Tears.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wasn't able to go. I had no time.
It's okay. It's whatever. Honestly, all 백화점s are the same. I also
Yeah.
realized. Also, there's nowhere to sit. I was literally
No,
so cranky one day because obviously the motive is to get you to walk around and shop.
Yeah.
But there was one day when I was walking around like all day and I was going to meet my aunt at one of the Lotte 백화점s in Myeongdong. I like was about to throw a fit because I could not find a place to sit, and I had been walking around the entire day, and I was literally so mad. I was like,
It's so tough.
yeah. Oh, so annoying.
Dang.
How about you, Judy?
I don't know if this is like my favorite thing that I ate. I don't know if it's the best thing, but I think there was definitely a memorable meal. So there's kind of like, it's kind of underground. Like you do have to walk down like the stairs, and it's like, underground, like kalguksu-jip. Knife noodles?
Knife-cut noodles.
Knife cut noodles, yeah. It's like a 5-minute walk from my grandparents' apartment. So we go there every year, and the portions are huge, and they give a small, like mini 공깃밥 on the side. So you're supposed to 말아먹어 with the 국물. And it used to be like 3,000원 for a bowl.
Dang.
Now it's 6,000원.
Still.
I know, it's still really good. Like, and then you take the kimchi out of a little like 항아리 shaped the plastic bowl, and you're supposed to like 덜어 like 먹을 만큼, like don't ever over.
Yeah.
So the kimchi is so good too. But that was like, I know it's a really cheap meal, but that was like the first meal I was able to buy from my grandpa. Yeah, so it was kind of meaningful in that way. Like now that I work, now that I make my own money, like you don't have to pay for everything. Like I will too. My sister already started that last year, 2 years ago. But for me, I was like always on the receiving end. So it felt nice to be able to give for once. So that was definitely something that was memorable. And then dessert. Oh my God, there's this. So you know how, is it Shilla Hotel? They have the mango bingsu that's like
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like
really,
10만 원.
really expensive. $100 for
Oh my
a
god.
bingsu.
Crazy.
It's crazy, but fruit in Korea is really expensive. So it like makes sense that it's expensive, but like not that, okay, it's not worth, I'm pretty sure. But my 막내 이모, my youngest aunt, she's a foodie. She loves to eat, and she loves to find different places to eat. And when we went to Jeju-do, she said we have to go to this mango bingsu place that apparently tastes just like Shilla hotels, but maybe even better. So we went there. Definitely, like, I think more than like it was just like half the price. Maybe 4만 원? I don't know, but it was huge. Like, it was a huge thing, and like a lot of mango. But it was just really, the mango was so soft. And it was like not too sweet, but like sweet enough. So that was so good. It's just mango and like ice and milk. I get it, but it was so good. It was different. And then I know there's like a popular cafe that we went to in Jeju-do. It's like a corn cafe. So it's like 옥수수 ice cream. That was like, okay. It's kind of tough to eat. I feel like that takes away from the experience. In like my opinion. I think anything difficult to eat just kind of ruins ruins it for me.
Yeah.
But that was good too. I don't know if it's like worth driving down to get that, but it was close to the water. So after eating that, we did like go to the water, and that was fun. But the mango bingsu was so good.
I did try warm makgeolli.
Warm?
Yeah, so
Oh.
I would not recommend. So my grandma has like special makgeolli that she makes at home, I think.
Cool.
But I think I tried it when I went before, like a few years back. But that was in the summer, so I think it was like regular, like cool temperature. This time, because it was kind of chilly, she like 대표ed it.
Oh, why?
Like she boiled it basically. But then I'm like, doesn't the alcohol just like all
fly away?
fly away?
Yeah, probably.
So just it kind of tasted like, do you know epoca?
Yeah.
It's kind of like yogurt, but
Oh, and the blue one?
the bigger,
yes.
the bigger one.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
It kind of tasted like warm epoca.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, this ain't it.
Oh,
This is
interesting.
Oh,
not.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah. But it's so cute because like whatever it is, whether it's like makgeolli or water, my grandma loves 건배ing. Like she's always like, okay, 건배.
That's so cute. That's so cute.
That is really cute.
Yeah. So and she drinks everything with a spoon.
Oh.
Like
Even
even
water?
like maybe not water. Actually, yeah, because she doesn't drink regular water. She always drinks tea. So whether it's like coffee or tea, she has like her designated little skinny spoon.
Yeah.
Just like
Oh,
That's so cute.
really
Yeah.
cute.
yeah. So my dad's younger sister is very like she's very sensitive.
Oh.
She has a sensitive soul, very emotional, but my dad is not the type to express his love towards his siblings, especially.
Yeah.
So I guess he never said like I love you to his little sister, but then when we were like flying back to LA, he sent like a katok message to her, like was saying like, oh, it's so great seeing you, blah blah, and like he ended it with like, I love you.
Oh.
And then she was like, oh my gosh, like this is the first time you're saying this. Like, oh, I'm so touched. And then we landed in LA. And then he opens up his phone again. And then he sees a message like, this isn't my brother, right? Who is this? Did you get hacked? Like,
Oh my god.
this is not my brother. And my brother would never say this to me. And then my dad was worried. He was like, no, what the heck? So he had to FaceTime call her and like prove that was him.
Oh, that's so funny.
But it was just the way she sent the message was so funny. It's like, 누구세요? It was hilarious. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah. So I guess main takeaway from the trip is family.
Yeah.
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 Like, I was jealous. I was like, oh, I wish I had siblings. Like, you know, but I guess my cousins can be like siblings, quote unquote. So yeah,
Yeah.
great trip. Hoping to go back more frequently with my parents. Yeah.
Yeah, I think family was the biggest thing because these are people I haven't seen in so long, but they were willing to do so much, so much for me in that short time I was there. And like my one cousin. So basically the fiasco behind me getting my perm was I was at my grandma's place, which is about an hour away from the aunt that I was going to stay with. And she was insistent that I get my perm done at a salon near her because the 원장님, the owner of the salon, is close friends with my cousin. And also like my whole family or my aunt's whole family gets their hair done there. And he's like really good, really reliable, really, really detailed. And so I was going to be there. So she lives in Ulsan, and so I was gonna be there from about like Thursday to Saturday, and so I was gonna get it, you know, like a Thursday or Friday. But she called me and she was like, he cannot do any of the days that you were here, and I was like, what? Oh no, but that's okay. I will just, you know, do it anywhere else. But she's like, no, I feel so bad. I told you you would have to do it here, so no matter what happens, I'll make sure you get it done here. So like, okay, you know, and then I quickly learned on this trip, if the adults say they're going to do something, you just gotta let them do it. Yeah, I have no say whatsoever. If they set their mind to do something, they will do it. It doesn't matter what I say. Anyways, and so lo and behold, she told me that she got an appointment, but it was going to be, what is it? It was going to be Thursday at 10 p.m. And so I was like, oh my goodness. And she's like, are you okay with it? And I was like, I'm okay with it.
Are you?
Are you okay? Is he okay with it?
For sure.
And then she's like, you know, like 어떻게 부탁해서, like we begged, and I begged him, and he said, I will let it happen. But the condition for him, the 원장님, was that my cousin would be basically his assistant that whole time. And so I was like, that's crazy. And so also the plan was that my other cousin would come pick me up, we would have dinner together, and then drop me off at my other cousin. There was a whole fiasco, whole mix-up, miscommunication with my grandma, my cousin, and my aunt who we were gonna meet. Whole fiasco happened. So I was just like thrown in the car. No one ate dinner, and I was shipped off into my other aunt. And then literally that was the entire time that I spent with that cousin and aunt, just in the car ride, that 1 hour. And I felt terrible because they didn't even eat dinner, and they tried to speed over, and like timing just didn't work out. And so they basically were just kind of my ride there. And I honestly could have just taken a bus over, but they wanted to see me even in that short span, which honestly was really, really touching. But yeah, so I got there, and then my cousin who was going to take me to the salon wasn't ready yet because he didn't expect us to speed over so quickly because we skipped dinner entirely. And so my aunt like picked me up, basically just like it was a handoff. Literally, it was literally a handoff of a parcel almost. And then I went over to the salon, and then my cousin was there, and then I was there at the salon until 1 a.m. I was there till 1 a.m. getting this done. Guys,
that's crazy.
This is the work of many people's labor here. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. And I was literally like, all this? And yeah, anyway. But then my cousin, so he is a cellist, and so he does a lot of different shows. And so that was literally the entire time I spent with him, just at the salon, because the next day he had a show in Busan or Daejeon or somewhere else. So he literally dropped me off at home. It was 1:30 a.m. and then he drove out to crash at a friend's place who lives there because he had rehearsal in the morning, and he couldn't trust himself to wake up and drive down in the morning. So he just left. And then that was like basically all that I saw of him. And then before I left, and I saw him one more time like Saturday morning when I woke up, and then he was going to a show. So I literally saw him for like 5 minutes. But then I katalked every one of my family members before I left. And then I katalked him, and I was like, oh, like, you're so busy and tired, but thank you so much. And like, oh, Pama, like, so 고마워 and whatever. And then he has 사투리, so 이번에 카톡이 사투리. It was so interesting.
Funny.
He literally typed out something like 뭐라카노 like 뭐지? He said like 파마만 해줘서 파마밖에 못 해줘서 미안하다. And I was like, I like cried because I was like, I felt terrible. He basically said like, I'm sorry, I could only do that for you while you were here. And I actually cried. And I was like, OMFG, like.
What? Sorry, but like, 분위기 파괴, bro. Like, what?
Sorry, that's just my internal monologue. I was like, OMFG. Oh my gosh.
I've never heard you say it.
But anyway, sorry. Wow, that was 완전 분위기 망쳐. Anyway.
잘하고 있었는데.
I know. I was like,
But yeah, I think I was just like reflecting, and it was just like,
Yeah.
oh wow, I really wish we all lived closer. And like, if I feel this way, I can't imagine how my parents must feel, literally leaving their entire family. So it really, but then at the same time, it kind of made me wonder, I wonder if it's more special only because we see each other so infrequently. I wonder if the dynamic would be entirely different if we were, right next to each other. I'm sure it would be very different. But yeah, it was just like, wow, so touched, and I really wish they would come here so that I can do the same thing for them. But it's interesting because people always go to Korea, but they never come here. I wonder why that is. But
I even told my cousins, I was like, I'll buy your ticket. Like, just
wow.
Because I just feel so indebted.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to play host too.
Yeah. I would love to play host. Yeah, but
we'll see.
Yeah.
my younger cousin though on my mom's side, she was like, I'm gonna buy my. She's still in high school actually, so she was like, I'm gonna go to America in 2025, and I was like, yes, come. I'll literally take time off of work if you let me know when you're coming. So that was. I think family is definitely the biggest thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's also like our age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as we just get older, I think we start to value these things more. I think obviously distance is a huge thing, but yeah, as we get older, I think we start to see just like value family more.
Yeah.
I think like something I've recognized or I've been having to face more with families like sickness, and I think that just it's like, oh shoot, I'm aging, but that means my family is aging at the same time. I think like my grandparents, even my aunts now are like getting old, so a lot of them are sick. Yeah, so it's just like when you realize that and you see the way that they treat you, I feel like you can sense this, I don't know, it's just different. Like it's a different type of care and love that they're pouring into like me and my sister and my mom, just because I think my oldest aunt right now is like pretty sick. And so when every year we spend time with her, it's like she tries so hard to just do everything she can for us because she's so afraid of like not being able to do that in the future. And I think when I see that, it's like, oh shoot, like, man, only if we were closer, like it would be, yes, different, and like the dynamic could be totally different too, but at least I could see them more often. So I think even my grandma, like thankfully the knee surgery went well, and she's recovering fine. But yeah, like my grandpa too, and like they're just getting really old too. Like they can't do a lot of things on their own. Like even because 분리수거, like throwing your trash away is it's work there. It's like multiple, like we have like what, trash, compost, recycled. They have like everything. And so even that now is like hard, like taking the elevator to go down to the trash, like all of that is like so hard. And like when I see that, it just like it's a different feeling I have each year. And so I think it's definitely like, oh, family's so precious, and I'm so blessed to have a lot of family. Obviously like the distance does make it hard to like see them, but yeah, I think Korea just means so much because like so much of my family's there. So I think it's a very, like, it makes my heart warm every time I go, but also it's like I just learn so much, and I'm just so humbled every time. So I feel like and
it was sad because I feel like at multiple stages of Korea I was like saying goodbye even within those 2 weeks, and so that was it was sad.
But I love Korea. Sorry. It was so
Korea #1.
Yeah, guys, Korea's a great place. Please visit if you ever get the chance.
The dollar is extra strong right now.
Yes.
So now is a great time.
Yes. Maybe we can do another episode on like where we went, like what we did.
That
Like
would be fun.
recommendations. I don't know if that's something people want to hear, but
let us know if you want to hear that.
yes.
Well, I love talking about Korea. I feel like I literally dreamt about Korea every day. The moment I landed or got back for a week straight. And
that's crazy.
It was hard. It was like waking up from a dream. Like actually, it was really difficult adjusting back to normal life. But forward we go.
Yep. Yes.
Life.
Are you hungry?
Sorry, guys.
No, I'm really hungry
Yes.
too. Okay,
Let's wrap this
we're gonna
up.
wrap it up so we can go eat. But hope you guys all enjoyed, and if you guys have similar experiences towards Korea, let us know.
Yeah.
Have a great week, everyone, and thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.